Traveling to me is similar to running an experiment. Through this investigation, I can try to peer out from within and observe the world as it is. Also, I can test all of my hypotheses about life. All of the concepts I think I know can be explored through this experiment. I can observe the outcome at the end. While traveling, I'm in the middle of conversation with Mother Nature. Through this communication, she always surprises me, shakes my principles, and by pointing out new standpoints, she shows me how much I don't know about this fascinating journey. When my travel ends, I realize I just take a sip of this firehouse called life and cannot wait for the next one.
On our way down through South America, here we are, Sajad and I, in Peru. Due to some kind of genetic mistake when crossing the border from Ecuador, our allowed stay became significantly shorter than expected, and despite being eager to ride down the entire country, we had to opt for a bus ride straight to Cusco. But how did I get here?
Bonjour Kevin Moreau.
Bonjour Marcia Billersin.
Première vidéo.
Alors ça fait quoi d'avoir crevé?
Ouais, ça va parce que j'étais fatigué, moi ça me repose un peu. Hey Jude. 1 mois et 2 jours que tu es parti de Lussard.
This journey started back in the summer of 2015. Martial and I embarked on a loaded adventure. Friends since childhood, we left friends with a vague plan. We wanted to explore the world and all it had to offer. By bike was the idea. Every day was an adventure, filled with unexpected twists and turns. It was not just a physical challenge. It transcended me in so many ways. I will forever remember those days spent on the open road, cycling towards the horizon with nothing but a tent, some bags, and a legit smile on my face. We learned to navigate maps and new languages, to try new foods, and how truly alive someone can feel owning just a few things. Our bikes took us through the Mediterranean coast of Europe, along the Black Sea, and into the Middle East, to finally reach the shores of Australia. After 4 months exploring the volcanic islands of New Zealand and Japan, Montreal, Canada was where our American adventure began. Full of stories and beautiful encounters, here I am, some 25 countries later, with a new traveling buddy, walking around the Machu Picchu ruins. The energy was there, really worth mingling with the horde of tourists. We returned to Cusco, where we stayed a few days. We explored the city, hung out with some backpackers learning Spanish there, and we enjoyed a little of the nightlife Cusco had to offer. By chance, we crossed paths with a couple traveling by bike we had met 2 months before near Quito in Ecuador. We shared a fabulous lunch in the market. It was finally time for us to escape the pollution of the big cities, its crowd and its traffic, its noise and its smell.
Buenas. ¿Cómo estás? Videos.
A ver. Ah, bonito la panorama.
Sí.
Our next destination, La Paz, Bolivia. A slow climb to the Altiplano, Lake Titicaca as our main direction, we were free again. There is something so rewarding about getting places on your own. Traveling by bike is an incredibly immersive experience. It allows you to connect with the world around you in a way that cannot be matched with other modes of transportation. There are little shocks, cultural or physical. You did not just get here, you are on your way. It is a liberating experience, offering a unique sense of freedom and independence. The road is the destination, and it makes your immersion into a country, its people and their culture, a true journey. South America is a cycle tourist paradise. You often cross paths with each other. We met Rafael on our second day from Cusco, I asked him what drove him to travel.
Hola, Rafael Brito, Brasil, Proyecto Arembepe Bike Mundo. Yo viajo porque me gusta. Yo viajo por Brasil a 12 años y hace un año que estoy fuera de Brasil conociendo la América y esa tal vez sea la última viaje que voy a hacer porque para mí está bueno, voy a tener una vida normal, trabajar y quedar un viejo contento. Ya.
Yes. Mismo hermano. Mismo. Qué bueno.
Gracias, chicos.
We only shared a few kilometers with Rafael. He soon made a turn heading home to Brazil. Not even 15 minutes later, we met Gonzalo, an Argentinian cycling towards Cusco.
¿Quién eres y por qué viajas?
Bueno, mi nombre es Gonzalo Zamorano, soy de Argentina, Mendoza, y viajo porque me apasiona conocer culturas nuevas, gente nueva, y bueno, y compartir todo lo que yo sé y que me enseñen, sobre todo aprender en el viaje sobre todo.
Qué bueno.
Eso está bien, no sé.
Sí, es perfecto.
Culturas diferentes, amo
Sí, qué lindo.
¿Listo?
En Perú.
Acá estamos, dirección Machu Picchu.
Qué crazy, ¿ah? Ok. Nos vamos, chicos.
As it turns out, they knew each other. They had met in a Casa Ciclista about 4 or 5 days down our road. They both insisted that we had to visit this place. The city of Juliaca and La Casa Ciclista de Giovanni became our next goal to reach.
Siento a fuego, aquí te encuentro. Pachamama en este fuego. Pachamama, aquí te encuentro. Pachamama en este fuego. Pachamama, aquí te encuentro. Sol y las estrellas, en el cielo, en la tierra, la lunita y las estrellas. Siento el fuego dentro, siento el fuego, aquí te encuentro. Siento el fuego dentro, siento el fuego, aquí te encuentro. Pachamama en este fuego.
Traveling by bike is an incredibly empowering experience. You are relying on your own strength and endurance to get you where you want to go. Every pedal stroke is a reminder of your own resilience and determination. This incredibly powerful feeling leaves you with a sense of accomplishment and pride that stays with you long after your journey has ended.
Siento el fuego, aquí te encuentro. Siento el fuego dentro, siento el fuego, aquí te encuentro. Pachamama en este fuego, Pachamama, aquí te encuentro. Pachamama en este fuego, Pachamama, aquí te encuentro.
We finally reached Juliaca and found ourselves in the famous Casa Ciclista de Giovanni. Here is Satori, one of the guests. demonstrating the good vibes filling this magical location.
Oh, pirates, yes, they rob so I to the merchant ships I forgot. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
If you are traveling on a bicycle, this place is like heaven to you. It is Giovanni's place, a carpenter who opens his house to cycle tourists. After briefly texting him to obtain the address, all you have to do is to knock at the door and he welcomes you with open arms. He offers warm showers, a kitchen, comfortable room to rest in, great company, and all the tools and tips you need to fix your ride. If you need to have something welded, Giovanni will be more than happy to help you out. The place is constantly filled with travelers from all over the planet. From solo bikers to entire families, you meet very interesting people and get to hear incredible traveling stories. Giovanni is not here for the money. He's here for the people. A kind man with a big heart.
Yo, what's your name?
Angel, how you doing?
Pretty good. So, why do you travel?
Why do I travel?
On the spot.
And I travel because I'm tired of living. I was tired of living my life for other people. You know, I want to live for myself. I want to see life. I want to experience different emotions that I don't feel working, you know, every day for other people. You know, make other people's life complete.
All right. Sweet ass, bro. And you? So, ¿cómo te llamas? So, what's your name?
Me llamo Satori, son de Japón.
Sí.
Yeah.
And why do you travel?
Yo viajar porque todo el mundo es muy grande, diferente cultura y yo quiero aprender todas culturas y dice el mundo es muy lindo y no hay mala gente, siempre compartir ayuda, compartir comida y es la vida, es sí, muy corazón, hace corazón contento y sí, esa casa de ciclista, Giovanni, muy buena hombre, ajá, sí. Lindo,
qué
yeah.
bueno. Gracias.
Hey, gracias.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Rodrigo,
¿Por qué viajas?
viajo para conocer todo lo que no vemos en los libros ni tampoco en la televisión, para aprender todas las culturas que me faltan conocer y lo que no te cuentan que existe fuera de tu zona de confort.
Qué bueno, qué bueno.
We live together like a big family. These precious moments we share are very welcome for long-time travelers. They make you feel like you belong somewhere, like you are part of something. It somehow compensates for being far away from friends and family.
Like wrestling. No era mala idea tampoco la papá. Tenemos 100 huevos.
Happy birthday to
A veces hay algunas horas no conocemos a nadie y ahora tengo, es como una familia, pero por una noche. Eso me gusta.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Gracias.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Nada. familia de ciclistas.
Cumpleaños.
Gracias a todos. En serio. Gracias. Pues, todos juntos, ¿no?
La torta. Hay torta con queso.
¿Qué es eso?
Go easy. Picante.
Muy picante.
Muy picante.
Gracias, chicos.
Bueno,
Gracias.
provecho. Buen provecho.
Fuerte eso.
Fuerte. Muy fuerte, poquito.
Muy rico.
Hay que probarlo de a poco, pero fuerte. Poquito a poco. Mucho. Sí. Pero rico. Pica rico.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias por los créditos. Hay que volverlos a repetir. Claro.
Chao.
Bye bye.
Bueno, muy bueno.
No permitamos que cerquen nuestros sueños como al planeta. No les permitamos que nos gobiernen con este sistema. Unámonos todos, luchemos codo a codo, que nuestro amor unido es indestructible. Estamos sumergidos por las sombras del cemento. Estamos asfixiados por los sótanos de la civilización, mientras otro atardecer venera la libertad de la vida en el bosque. Volvamos al bosque.
Yeah.
Ese qué bonito.
Cheers, bro.
Gracias. Eso me gusta así.
Vámonos. Buen viaje. Bueno, pisaremos al otro lado. Buena onda, buena ruta.
Mejor que hable, hijo.
Vamos, bueno, vamos, está bien.
Cuídate mucho. Sigan disfrutando. Ya nos comunicamos.
Casa de ciclista. Juliaca.
Rafael and Gonzalo were spot on. The 5 days we spent at Giovanni's were extremely satisfying. Following some of the recommendations on how to reach Bolivia from there, we opted to take the northern route around Lake Titicaca.
Sol
de los arenales, regada en sangre del bravo Saigüenque, grito que está volviendo en tu desbocado otro pehuenche.
We enjoyed a quiet road along the shore. The air was crisp and fresh, each turn bringing a new view of the deep blue waters and rocky cliffs. We stopped often to take pictures, to catch our breath, or just to soak in the beauty of this corner of the world.
Lake Titicaca, Peru. And we're gonna sleep just over here.
Aguas que van, quieren volver. Aguas que van, quieren volver. Río arriba del canto aprendido, Neuquén, Quimei, Quimei, Neuquén.
On that particular morning, we woke up at 5:30 and watched the sunrise reflecting its fiery colors onto the still waters. We ended up relaxing and appreciating the scenery until lunchtime. A tradition at Giovanni's place is that every guest lives with a plant and has to find a suitable spot for it along the road. This location seemed perfect for my tree to flourish.
Se está gastando en piedras lajas y turbias corrientes. Besa la sombra india que vuelve crecida de un sueño verde. Ya madura el silencio por el agreste vientre de tus bardas, quiere raya en dormirse, tiembla en sus entrañas enamorada. Aguas que van, quieren volver. Aguas que van, quieren volver. Río arriba del canto prendido, Neuquén, Quimei, Quimei, Neuquén, Quimei, Quimei, Neuquén,
Salut, pourquoi tu voyages?
Bah alors moi je vivais au Chili cette année et Romaric qui aime faire du vélo m'a proposé de faire un voyage à vélo en Amérique latine et on fait un projet qui s'appelle Musica en Bicicleta dans lequel on représente une ONG française qui s'appelle Musique pour tous. Et donc en fait cette association française elle s'occupe d'inclusion musicale pour les enfants de milieux défavorisés, d'hôpitaux, d'orphelinats. Et donc en fait ce qu'on a fait, c'est qu'on a commencé notre voyage au début du Chili et après on est allé à Santiago. À Santiago on a monté des ateliers, on a créé une structure juridique pour l'association au Chili et maintenant là on va à Cusco et à Cusco on va faire la même chose. Et en même temps c'est une partie de plaisir, du coup on voyage un peu dans tous les pays et les paysages sont beaux, les personnes qu'on rencontre aussi et voilà donc c'est une pure opportunité. On est super heureux d'être là. Voilà. En gros, pourquoi on voyage.
Génial.
Check.
C'est le GoPro maintenant.
Del cielo la honda noche se oye del viento la serenata, tu voz la luna prende en la negra simba de mi Araucana.
On that evening, by chance, we encountered 3 friends of ours, travelers we had just met in Juliaca. We spent the night with Satori, his girlfriend Akina, and Mika. They had set up camp in the entrance of the town hall of Tilila, the last Peruvian village before the border. On the next day, we all got our stamps out of Peru, and together we headed towards the Bolivian border.
We have a Japanese officer today.
We made our way up to the geographical border. The view from up there was truly breathtaking. We knew we had to stop and savor the moment. Standing here on the line separating Peru and Bolivia, Mika felt like this was the perfect place to plant his tree. We helped him to dig a small hole in the ground where he carefully placed his sapling.
That's a lucky tree, huh? Look at the view it's gonna have. Thank you, Giovanni.
As we stood back to admire Mika's handiwork, we couldn't help but wonder at the beauty of this place. As soon as we entered Bolivia, the road condition drastically changed. The smiles on our faces didn't.
« 4035 mètres, lac Titicaca, vu depuis la Bolivie. On est pas bien là? Hein? Est-ce que ça montre que c'est de la terre? Ah mais c'est pas Pulvel là.
we made sure to take one final group photo as a memento of our time together. As evening approached, we were struggling to find a suitable place to rest for the night. To make matters worse, as soon as the sun set, a dog began chasing us, eventually managing to bite Mika on the leg. Although the wound didn't look too serious, we knew we would need to take proper care of it once we reached the capital city. With 2 or 3 days still ahead of us, we pushed forward, determined to make it to our next destination. We couldn't help but feel grateful for the opportunity to explore such a stunning corner of the world.
Oui, tu as Real Barça en ce moment là. Je suis pas sûr.
That was fun.
As we drew closer to La Paz, the weather began to shift and the traffic grew increasingly heavy. Reaching the center of a city that size with a loaded bike can turn out tricky, even dangerous at times. A reliable GPS becomes your best friend to navigate and arrive at your destination safely. We made a grand entrance into the city, just as the French say, une entrée en fanfare. Despite the noise and the chaos of the city, we couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. Our goal was to secure Sajjad's Schengen area visa, in mind to fly back to Europe together and to cycle through Portugal, Spain and France side by side. While this would mark the end of this journey for me, it would be the beginning of new adventures for Sajjad. He wanted to visit as many of the French cycle tourists he had hosted over the years in his flat in Tehran. He then wanted to cycle across Europe and Turkey to finally return home in Iran. Selina, a girl I had met in Cusco, was also visiting the city. She joined us a day after our arrival, and we explored the steep city together, marveling at the colorful architecture, the vibrant markets, and the energy of the people around us. Mika visited a doctor about the bite he had received. He had to get daily injections for a bit over a week. Our 15 different visits to embassies and consulates throughout South America did not pay off. That was it. Sajjad was not going to be able to obtain his visa to land in Europe, at least not from this continent. He remained positive and decided to apply for the visa from Iran. Quite a bit more money, but after all, if you can afford it, does money even matter when it comes to living your dreams? Although Sajjad's situation was a setback, we remained full of excitement as we approached an important part of our South American journey. The next leg of our adventure would take us across the incredible salt flats of Bolivia. As we made our plans for the route ahead, we decided that Sajama National Park and its stunning snow-capped volcanoes was the direction we wanted to take. Leaving La Paz proved to be, as expected, a rather unpleasant experience. However, by the second day, after escaping the busy National Road 1, we found ourselves isolated in a vast landscape. The magical Sajama volcano was visible in the distance, teasing us with its game of hide and seek, gradually growing larger as it reappeared every time. It provided us with a greater strength to face the harshness of the environment, pushing the limits of what we believed we could accomplish. At times, we felt vulnerable. Reading the map became increasingly challenging. The few villages around were abandoned and left for ruin. We eventually found shelter for the night and potable water. We were already counting the drops, taken by surprise. We reached Sajama volcano after 3 days since leaving the capital. It was a relief to find a small town. We were able to stock up on some food and to finally make contact with Mika and share our location. He had planned to load his bike on a bus and join us the following day. As the sun began its descent, we wandered on the outskirts of the city to watch it paint the sky. The time and location were both impeccable and left us speechless.
And to me, that's the clue. When somebody do that, it means that, okay, you're making your mind. Yeah, but your mind is set.
Yes, boy. Grateful to have Mika back at our side, we slowly pedaled away from Sajama volcano towards the salt flat of Coipasa. C'est un nouveau jour sur les plaines désertiques boliviennes avec mes deux compagnons Mika et Sajad. Objectif de la journée 80 km avec le soleil. Peace out.
You're breaking my heart. Oh, Cecilia, I got on my knees. I'm begging things to come home. Take you out, baby, out of here, Cecilia, up in my bedroom. And you know I'm gonna be on my face. When I come back to bed, someone's taking my place. Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. You're breaking my confidence, baby. Oh, Cecilia, I'm down on my knees. I'm begging you please to come home.
Il y a du sol sur la route là. Sans le balayeur. Bon, comme vous pouvez voir, il n'y a rien du tout. On est tout seul. Il y a quelques petits nuages sympas qui font des photos jolies. Sadly, on that night, my camera gave up. Only one day away from reaching the stunning Coipasa salt flat. Fortunately, we had some backup equipment. A GoPro, smartphones, and an old digital camera. That allowed us to still capture some incredible moments. Hola! Hola!
Picture yourself in a boat on a river with tangerine trees and marmalade skies. Somebody calls you, you answer quite slowly. A girl with kaleidoscope eyes. Cellophane flowers of yellow and green towering over your head. Look for the girl with the sun in her eyes and she's gone. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Follow her down to a bridge by a fountain where rocking horse people eat marshmallow pies. Everyone smiles as you drift past the flowers that grow so incredibly high.
One of the most significant freedoms that comes with traveling by bike is the ability to plan and choose as you see fit. However, with freedoms of choice comes the possibility of making mistakes. On this particular occasion, we could have probably chosen a better path.
station with plasticine pauses with looking glass ties. Suddenly someone is there at the turnstile, the girl with kaleidoscope eyes. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. 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 Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
The reflection of the sky on infinite still water was truly surreal. I would make the same decision again if I had to. As we battled through a landscape of salt and sand at an altitude of nearly 4,000 meters, riding or loaded bikes required both physical strength and mental focus.
There's another bicycle that passed here like yesterday or the day before. Did you see the traces there? And even here you can spot it sometimes. Here. He's in puddles. Iraq. Alors c'est à droite ou à gauche là. Je vois plus la route. On va suivre le point là-bas aussi. Ah voilà, une route. Oula.
We were losing it a little, and frequent breaks became a necessity.
That's a freaking good one!
Je crois qu'on en a perdu un.
On le voit plus, mon gars. Ah, je crois qu'il se les brise. Allez, petit chat, sors de l'ombre. Allez, t'es en vidéo là, tu peux faire ce que tu veux.
If you would only start to live one moment at a time, you would, I think, be startled by the things that you would find. Like scents you never noticed, and many subtle sounds, like colors in the landscape and textures of the town. Then the winds would lift you up into the sky above, where you'd be treated to a view of everything you love. Everything you love. Everything you love. And if the moment passes, you should try it once again. 'Cause if you do it right, you'll find the moment never ends.
After a nice and cozy night in the city of Lika, we finally entered the last chapter of our trip together in Bolivia.
If you would stop and notice that we number every day, but allow the many moments left uncounted slip away. You don't have to count them, just enjoy them one by one. And things would take a different hue and sparkle in the sun. The winds would lift you up into the sky.
That was it. Salt stretching as far as the eyes can see.
The winds would lift you up into the sky above, where you would see a trail of treasured memories you love. A rainbow record of the thoughts and moments you've enjoyed. Arcs behind the earth as spectral colors in the void. Sense and subtle sounds. Colors in the void. Sense and subtle sounds. Colors in the void. Sense and subtle sounds. Colors in the void. Sense and subtle sound. Colors in the void.
Riding on this flat, yet uneven white surface soon started to feel unreal. Icy but warm, it was like exploring a new planet. The salty crunch beneath my wheels was unlike anything I had experienced before. Strangely, this incredibly pleasant sensation of experiencing novelty reminded me of all the wonders I had witnessed from my saddles during those past 4 years.
them to Fish Island with fish in the ears.
It's strange how freedom comes alight on wings of sorrow, above the pall of hurt, thrown into all that's new. Yet that which is quickly gone pulls hard within the heart. Ties that were securely bound stretch beyond their time. As one by one they break, the pain recoils within. They leave me less than what I was, lighter I float away.
It's strange how freedom comes, as though in hopelessness it's born. Like a sparrow lost at sea, that finds a log on which to ride. Somewhere in this vastness is a place where I can rest, something that will take the place of all I left behind.
Today, the extremely dry conditions, the altitude, the relentless sun, and probably the rum we had drunk the night before, quickly managed to make us ration our water once more. As if we were asking for it. As the sun sets, the salt flats becomes a never-ending canvas for colors, with shades of pink, orange and purple painting the sky.
So,
We're cooking a pasta with fish in the middle of the salt. And look over there. Another cyclist is joining the crew. Out of nowhere. This is... I turn my head and this is awesome. And thanks fish again. As night fell, I felt so small and insignificant under the vastness of the Milky Way, the stars shining brighter than ever before. I fell asleep to the sound of silence, shivering in my worn-out sleeping bag.
It's time I sling the baskets off this silver burdened horse. Sink my toes into the ground and set a different course. 'Cause if I were here and you were there, I'd meet you in between. And not until my dying day confess what I have seen.
Hey,